Heaven dispatched Archangel Michael with a blessing. But it's stuck in warfare because you haven't responded. This video unlocks your part. Watch immediately. At the midnight hour, a dispatch left heaven's gates. It was not random. It was not delayed. It was not overlooked. It was precise. It was prepared. And it was sent directly for you. It carried your name. It carried your answer. It carried what you stopped praying for. But heaven never forgot. This dispatch did not flow gently down. No, it was released into war. Archangel Michael, heaven's chief warrior, was assigned as its guardian, not because the blessing was fragile, but because of its magnitude. This was not a casual gift. This was a sealed scroll with destiny encrypted within its light. And heaven dispatched it not at noon when the sun is high, but at midnight, when resistance rages and only faith can see. It was sent in a secret window, a narrow gate of divine timing. And now, it hovers, suspended, just beyond reach, held not by denial but by warfare, blocked not by God but by your delay. It waits for a signal, and heaven says, this message is the signal. Watch and respond. This is not for everyone. This is not for the curious. This is not for the casual. This is for those who felt their spirit twitch the moment the title entered their eyes. This is for those who have felt a pull they couldn't explain. If your heart races, it's because heaven is calling your alignment. Not another request, not another prayer, but alignment, stillness, silence, obedience. You've prayed for breakthrough, but you didn't realize you were the final key. Not because God was waiting on power, but because he was waiting on posture. This message reaches you in a sacred window between resistance and release. And if you do nothing, the blessing stays sealed. But if you yield, even now, Archangel Michael receives his next command. Heaven is not waiting to give. Heaven is waiting for you to respond. Type "I receive my dispatch" in the comments if you feel this in your spirit. Blessing code 777 is now circling you. By sunrise, something shifts in the unseen realm. Not because the sun rises, but because heaven moves on command. As the shadows retreat from the earth, the veil thins in the spirit. A divine moment is forming. Archangel Michael stands, not in hesitation, not in confusion, but in holy readiness. Sword drawn, mantle burning, assignment sealed. He has been dispatched with your breakthrough in hand, but the battlefield is not in the sky. The battlefield is your response. This is not symbolic. This is supernatural. Heaven is not sending motivational words. It has already sent a war command, and it bears your name. You must understand, your name was spoken in the courts of heaven, not whispered, not overlooked. Spoken aloud in the council of the Most High. When others questioned your timing, God confirmed your name. When delays made you feel forgotten, the Father issued a decree. And the decree was not survival, it was breakthrough. A release, a lifting, a divine return. The dispatch was not mailed, it was escorted by the chief of the warrior angels. Michael does not move for common requests. He moves for critical moments. He moves when what you carry is too great to arrive without war. But war it has encountered. For the blessing is stuck, not in heaven, and not on earth, but in the invisible space of resistance. The air above you is charged. Forces of darkness have positioned themselves around your breakthrough, not because they can stop God, but because they hope you will stay silent. You see, this is not delay. This is participation. The delay is not punishment. It's permission. God is waiting for you to participate in what He's already declared. And participation does not look like panic. It does not look like begging. It looks like alignment. It looks like surrender. It looks like an invisible yes that thunders louder than 1,000 sermons. And heaven is listening for that yes now. Even now, as this word reaches your ears, Michael waits at the boundary of battle. His sword is not bound, but protocol demands a signal. Not a sign in the sky, but a response from your spirit. The angels are not confused. They are conditioned to wait until you align. That is why you felt the tension. That is why you sense something hovering. The blessing is nearby, but it cannot break through until you give heaven legal access. Your stillness gives it permission. Your faith gives it passage. Your obedience unlocks the command. And this word, it is not for the masses. This word is for the marked. This message is not for the lukewarm, or the late, or the lightly interested. This message is only for those who have been visited in the midnight hour by the weight of an unspoken call. It is only for those who have been asked to carry what they cannot explain. It is only for those whose name rings in heaven like a trumpet waiting to be sounded. Heaven does not waste dispatches. Michael was not sent on accident. His blessing is too costly to be ignored. And yet heaven waits. Not because it is confused, but because it is aligned with your decision. Will you speak alignment? Will you stop explaining delay and start declaring release? Will you give the angels their signal? For I, Michael, stand dispatched. And I await one thing, your yes. Type I align with heaven in the comments if your spirit bears witness. Blessing code 4488 is now opening in your atmosphere. You felt it, haven't you? That strange nearness. That sudden stillness. That whisper in the spirit that something is close, so close, but never arriving. Like your blessing is trapped behind glass. Like your answer is standing outside the door, knocking but never stepping in. You sensed it in the way people shift. In the way opportunities circle you but never land. In the way you can almost taste breakthrough, yet it always slips through your hands. Now, you know why. The warfare wasn't imagined. The delay wasn't laziness. The silence wasn't punishment. It was a targeted, coordinated assault on your obedience. You are not crazy. You are not forgotten. You are not weak. You are dangerous. And your blessing has been intercepted because the enemy senses what it carries. He doesn't know the details. He doesn't know the timing. But he can smell promotion. He can sense the oil. And because he cannot cancel the dispatch, he attempts to disrupt the receiver. That's why you've been under pressure. That's why the moment you got closer to God, everything around you got chaotic. That's why the moment your spirit stirred, your emotions collapsed. That's why you've experienced confusion in waves, waves that tried to drown your clarity. But this is not coincidence. This is confrontation. Unseen watchers, the agents of darkness, have monitored your movements. They've watched your patterns. They've studied your obedience. They've waited for one moment of spiritual fatigue to enter the gates. They've launched whispering spirits of doubt. They've employed tactics of emotional weariness. They've tried to convince you that heaven went silent, when really, heaven went strategic. The silence wasn't God's rejection. It was His preparation. Because when heaven dispatches something of this magnitude, the entire atmosphere is rearranged. Archangel Michael doesn't arrive quietly. His presence alone shifts the dimensions. And so, the enemy, sensing the tremor, has moved to distort your perception. He knows he can't block the angel, but if he can bait you into fear, into flesh, into frantic reaction, he can delay the release. Your spirit has been under surveillance, not because you are weak, but because you are next. And now, the heavens are watching, not who shouts the loudest, not who posts the most, but who stands in silence. Stillness is the new surrender. Faith is the new warfare. Obedience is the new sword. Heaven is watching, not who reacts in fear, but who responds in faith. This is why you've cried without reason. This is why your dreams have shifted. This is why you've been waking up at strange hours with a weight on your chest. The blessing is pressing against the veil, and the spirit realm has noticed. Hell cannot take it, but hell can tempt you to forfeit it. Are you aligned? Or are you distracted? Do not answer quickly. Let your spirit answer. Because this is not a surface-level moment. This is not an emotional high. This is an eternal intersection, where obedience becomes access and silence becomes the signal. And heaven is watching, right now, for who will respond in surrender. Type "I respond" in stillness in the comments if this part is for you. Blessing code 333 is unfolding above your head. This moment is holy, and someone else is waiting to hear this word. When you support this channel, you're not supporting a person, you're becoming a vessel through which the word of God travels to another soul trapped in silence. Scripture says, "He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed." That's not a suggestion, it's a promise. As you sow, you're unlocking harvests in the unseen. The fire you feel now can be the fire someone else finds next. If this word confirms something in your spirit, I invite you to become part of this divine dispatch by sowing a gift through Super Thanks, channel membership, or through PayPal link in the video description below. This isn't a donation, it's a declaration, a prophetic act that says, I'm aligned with heaven's mission. Bless what's blessing you, and heaven will pour more through you. Release now. Respond now. Heaven is watching. Hear me clearly. This blockage is not natural. This interference is not human. The tension you feel, the way your promises seem paused mid-air, the way you sense something pressing but not yet present, this is not coincidence. It is spiritual conflict, and your dispatch is caught in its grip. Do not be deceived by what your eyes see. The delays, the closed doors, the unexpected detours, they are merely the visible smoke of an invisible fire. Behind the scenes, in realms you cannot see but can surely feel, a war is raging around what belongs to you. Not because of who you were, but because of who you're becoming. Not because of what you've done, but because of what you've been assigned to do next. Every divine dispatch, every anointed release, every heaven-sent breakthrough must pass through warfare. It's the protocol of power. The grayer the blessing, the heavier the resistance. This is not punishment, it's permission. God has trusted you with a battle He has already equipped you to win. But you must understand the nature of this war. The enemy is not interested in attacking your past. He's already lost that battle. He's not trying to reverse what God redeemed. His focus is what's coming, not what's behind. He fights your future because he sees the ripple effect your obedience will have. He sees the generations your yes will touch. He sees the doors your alignment will open for others. And so, he resists the dispatch before it lands, hoping to exhaust you in the waiting room. That is why you must hold your position. Heaven is not asking for panic. Heaven is not asking for noise. Heaven is asking for faithful agreement, for a posture of divine trust. Because your reaction determines the outcome. The realm of the Spirit does not respond to performance. It responds to alignment. It responds to surrender. It responds to those who remain still even as the storm swirls around them. The enemy throws chaos at you not to crush you but to bait you. He wants your fear to give him legal access. He wants your doubt to delay the dispatch. He cannot cancel it, but he can complicate its arrival if you break rank. But hear this. You are not under attack because you're weak. You are under attack because you are a vessel of power. The darkness does not gather around empty altars. The war comes when oil is present, and the oil is present on your name. That's why Archangel Michael was dispatched with your delivery. That's why this moment is critical. That's why your stillness is spiritual warfare in disguise. Picture it now. In the spirit, a sealed envelope of light hovers in the air. It bears your name. Inside it is a divine upgrade, something that shifts the trajectory of your life. But it's surrounded, intercepted, guarded, and heaven will not release it into chaos. It will only descend upon obedience. Michael stands. He is not pacing. He is not wondering. He is waiting for your signal. Not from your lips, but from your posture. Not from your emotions, but from your essence. He is waiting for your command of faith, spoken not with volume, but with conviction. Spoken not with fear, but with reverence. Because the blessing you've been sensing, it's still coming. But it will not come casual. It will not come cheap. It will come through alignment. The spiritual war around your promise is proof of its importance. If it hasn't forgotten, the angel hasn't left. The dispatch is still hovering. The question is, will you hold position until it drops? Type "I hold my position" in the comments if this war feels personal. Blessing code 911 is circling you now with heavenly reinforcement. Within 72 hours, the invisible realm will shift. This is not a poetic prediction. It is not symbolic language for someday. This is a divine countdown, a holy timer already in motion. The dispatch heaven released is hanging in warfare, but the battle is intensifying. It is stretching to its final turn. And what happens next, what manifests in your life over the next 3 days, will either push that blessing into your hands or push it back into the heavens for another cycle. Mark these words. This is a final alert. In the coming hours, something in your natural world will mirror what's happening in the unseen. A strange conversation, a sudden disruption, a distraction disguised as urgency. It will rise. It will be unexpected. It may seem small, but it will carry weight in the spirit. And your reaction will be watched. Your response will be recorded. Because that response will echo into the heavenlies as a yes or a delay. Do not be deceived. Heaven is not just watching what you pray. Heaven is watching what you permit, what you tolerate, what you engage with. Because your engagement is a spiritual signal. The enemy knows what's at stake. He knows your dispatch isn't just a blessing. It's a blueprint. It's a divine instruction sealed inside the envelope of your promotion. It is the beginning of a new authority. And if he can't cancel the dispatch, he'll come for your clarity. If he can't touch the angel, he'll touch your atmosphere. He'll send chaos where there was calm. He'll stir conversations meant to shift your focus. He'll use familiar voices to raise old insecurities. He'll tempt you to speak prematurely, react emotionally, or move ahead of the instruction. You'll feel the tremor in your spirit before it arrives. It will come like a divine tension in your chest. Your dreams will shift. Your appetite may disappear. You will feel a pull into silence, and that is your sign. The moment the warfare peaks, Stillness becomes your weapon. Do not react. Do not retaliate. Do not rush. Retreat inward. Listen deeply. Speak solely. Heaven's movement in the spirit will be synchronized with your restraint in the natural. If you remain silent in faith, heaven will advance on your behalf. The dispatch will break through. The angel will be given the final command. But if you waver, if you give your fear permission to speak, the release delays again. Let that reality settle in your spirit. This dispatch has come too far to be lost now. This warfare has raged too long to be wasted. Michael stands at the final gate. His sword is ready. His eyes are fixed. But the order will not be given until your faith is confirmed. The hour is now. The clock is ticking. And heaven has warned you in love so you will not fall prey to the enemy's trap. You've come too far to turn back. You've endured too much to forfeit now. This next decision, this next moment of silence, this next movement of obedience will determine whether the blessing breaks through or cycles again. The angels are waiting at the threshold of release. The heavens are leaning in. The dispatch is ready to descend. Will your spirit hold position in stillness, or surrender to fear? Type "I will not flinch" in the comments if you choose obedience over emotion. Lesson code 000 is now activated to surround you with divine focus and angelic covering. Be still. Be silent. Be hidden. This is the command of heaven over you now, not to move, but to stand your spiritual ground in holy stillness. Not to shout louder, not to chase validation, not to post your progress, but to retreat into obedience. For in this hour, heaven fights when you don't. And when Michael wars, he does not need your words. He needs your agreement. You must understand the authority that rests upon stillness in seasons of warfare. It is not passivity, it is strategy. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. For when God calls his chosen into silence, it is because the roar of angels has already begun. Your silence is a signal to the spirit realm that you are not operating in fear, but in divine trust. The enemy listens for your panic. He prowls, waiting for your emotional leakage. He studies your reactions, your responses, your conversations. He tracks your movement, hoping to detect a break in your armor. But when you go still, the enemy goes blind. When you withdraw in prayer, he loses direction. When you fast in secret, he stumbles in confusion. Your silence makes heaven loud and hell nervous. In this window of warfare, the Lord says, do not engage the flesh. Do not explain yourself to people who were never sent to carry your prophecy. Do not respond to chaos, for it is a trap wrapped in urgency. The Father is calling you into the inner chamber where the noise cannot reach you, and the instruction is clear. This is not the time to react. It is the time to retreat into Him. Some of you will feel the call to fast, not out of tradition, but out of necessity. For fasting is not hunger. It is heavenly focus. It is the cleansing of your spiritual frequency so you can hear God without interference. Others will feel the call to shut off conversations, distance yourself from familiar voices, even decline invitations that seem harmless. Why? Because in this moment, access is a gate. Every person you allow into your atmosphere now is either reinforcing the warfare or disrupting your breakthrough. God is asking for stillness, not to punish you, but to preserve you, to hide you in plain sight, to cloak you beneath the wings of angels until the dispatch is delivered. Do not assume the delay means denial. The delay means defense. It means heaven has shielded you from a premature exposure. It means the dispatch is still coming, and your silence is clearing its landing strip. Declare over yourself, I am covered. I am sealed. I am watched by heaven's host. And know this, you are not alone. As you sit in silence, the hosts of heaven surround your home. They cover your doorway. They encircle your decisions. They hover around the promise with fire. The blessing has not been lost. The angel has not turned back. The enemy is not won. He is being guarded. This is a divine concealment. You've been pulled away because what is coming is too holy to be contaminated by the opinions of people. The Father is silencing the room so you can hear the scroll opening. And when it's time to speak, when it's time to move, when it's time to rise, you will know, because the atmosphere will shift in your spirit first. Until then, hold the posture of divine silence. Type I am hidden for a holy reason in the comments if you receive this instruction. Blessing code 1444 is now establishing a shield of silence and protection over your life. Now hear this. You're not just waiting for the breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. The tables have turned. The atmosphere is changing. The warfare, though fierce, has forged something inside you that is now unmistakable. You didn't just survive the delay, you were shaped in it. Bolded in it, anointed in it. The enemy tried to confuse you, but all he did was confirm your identity. You are no longer the wounded one hoping for rescue. You are the risen one, clothed in fire, branded by obedience, and awakened to your divine authority. This is not the season where you beg for answers. This is the hour you become the answer. This is not where you cry out for angels. This is where you realize they were assigned to you because of who you are. You've grown wings in the warfare. You've found weapons in your worship. You've been trained in silence and elevated in secret. What was meant to break you only broke the chains. What was meant to delay you only deepened your discernment. You are not the same version of yourself that began this battle. Something eternal has shifted inside you. You are now the vessel. Not a vessel of survival, but of strategy. Heaven doesn't just want to bless you anymore. Heaven is now ready to move through you. You are the carrier of divine assignments. You are the walking proof that silence has power, that stillness is strength, and that when God says, "Be still," it is because He's building a storm around you to move on your behalf. And now, the oil is heavy on you. You are not waiting for it to fall. You are drenched in it. You are not asking for favor. You are walking in the evidence of it. You are not waiting for signs. You are becoming one. You are not begging for identity. You are embodying it. Do not diminish what has happened in the delay. The waiting room was not wasted. It was a holy womb, forming a new dimension of identity. You have gone from servant to soldier, from overlooked to overcomer. You've become a weapon in the hands of the Most High. This dispatch is not just an answer to your prayers. It's a reward for your endurance, your alignment, and your refusal to move out of season. The fire you walked through was not random. It was refining. The ashes were not signs of loss. They were evidence of transformation. Heaven let you burn so you could rise. Not as a victim, but as a vessel of authority. You are the fulfillment of what you've been praying for. You are the proof that what God dispatches, He delivers. You are no longer begging to be chosen. You are walking in the truth that you were always marked. The warfare confirmed it. The stillness protected it. And now, your spirit carries the weight of someone who has been prepared by the hand of God. You were never overlooked. You were never behind. You were being forged for this very moment. Type I am the proof in the comments if you receive this identity. Blessing code 2299 is now activating your authority in the spirit realm. Now, the revelation unfolds. The reason for the delay, the cause of the battle, the intensity of the resistance. It was never about just blessing you with convenience. It was never about a new job, a relationship, a financial breakthrough, or a temporary peace. Oh, it was so much more. The dispatch heaven sent, the one Michael was assigned to carry, is no ordinary delivery. It is a divine promotion, a heavenly elevation wrapped in warfare, sealed with fire, and now hovering in your atmosphere, waiting for your alignment to meet its command. The Spirit of the Lord declares, this is not about comfort, it's about commission. What is being released is not currency, it's kingdom authority. This dispatch contains the next level of your assignment. It is a scroll etched in glory, written with your name, and stamped by heaven's courts. But before it could land, it had to be proven that you would carry it with clean hands and a surrendered heart. A delay was not a punishment, it was a test, refining, a measure of your maturity. Would you wait when everything in you screamed to act? Would you obey when you could have retaliated? Would you believe when nothing made sense? Now we see why the resistance was fierce. Because the level of authority you are about to walk in is dangerous to darkness. This wasn't just about giving you something. This was about seeing if you could govern something. And you passed the test. Not perfectly, but purely. Not flawlessly, but faithfully. Your yes in silence spoke louder than 1,000 public declarations. Your alignment has echoed through the heavens like a trumpet blast, signaling Michael's next movement. The blessing is not what you expected, but it's what you were designed for. This dispatch carrying jurisdiction. It shifts the weight of your influence. It places new armor on your shoulders. It gives you clearance into territories you were once denied. And you need to hear this clearly. What heaven is releasing is not just for you. It's through you. You are becoming a portal of breakthrough for others. You are becoming a carrier of prophetic fulfillment for regions, for families, for spheres that were under siege. The warfare was never a reflection of your weakness. It was a mirror of your significance. You were fought not because of your past, but because of your next. And heaven was watching, not just to see if you could handle promotion, but if you would still choose purity when promotion was delayed. And now the moment has arrived. Michael's sword is ready. The seal on your dispatch is trembling. The air around your spirit is shifting. The release is not automatic. It is activated by obedience. Your yes becomes the final key. Your surrender becomes the green light. And the moment your spirit aligns fully, the delivery descends. This dispatch was never withheld. It was being guarded until you were ready to carry it. And now, you are ready. Type "I am ready for my next" in the comments if you receive this prophetic truth. Blessing code 1717 is now breaking through spiritual barriers with divine promotion. If this word is confirming what you've sensed in your spirit, now is your time to act. Not just for yourself, but for those who haven't yet heard that heaven is still speaking. Every gift you sow into this mission becomes a spark in someone else's dark night. As the Lord sends dispatches, we become the voice that unlocks them in others. God's word is not chain. And when you give, through super thanks, channel membership, or PayPal link in the video description, you are sowing into eternal impact. Like rivers released in the desert, your generosity refreshes souls who have been crying out for confirmation. This is more than a gift. It's an act of obedience, a prophetic release, a heavenly partnership. Don't hesitate. Release what's in your hand, and watch God release what's in His. Now comes the shift from hearing to doing, from sensing to activating. This is not the hour to hesitate. This is not the moment to remain silent. This is the divine hinge where destiny turns, not because heaven is finally ready to release, but because you are finally ready to agree. What's been hovering in the heavens is now pressing into your atmosphere, and the only thing standing between spiritual promise and physical manifestation is your declaration. Speak now. Heaven responds not just to need, but to agreement. The dispatch has already been prepared, already been worked for, already been protected. It is not waiting on God. It is not waiting on Michael. It is waiting on you. Say it out loud. I receive my dispatch. I align with heaven's command. These words are not poetic, they are prophetic keys. In the spirit realm, the enemy has no legal right to block what you boldly claim in obedience. Every time you open your mouth in alignment, you write your name on the release form of heaven. This is where many fall short. They wait for proof before they move. They wait for results before they speak. But that's not how the kingdom works. The kingdom doesn't move on confirmation, it moves on conviction. What you declare in faith, before you see it, is what gives angels the authority to deliver it. You must come into covenant with the word that has been sent. You must open your mouth in holy agreement. Let every distraction fall now. Let every fear go silent. Let every double-minded hesitation be cast down. The time is now. The weight of glory is resting on this moment, and you must speak. You must step in. You must shift from wondering to walking, from surviving to sending signals into the unseen. This is your moment to rise, not retreat. The blessing was never meant to chase you. It was designed to meet you at the place of obedience. The dispatch is GPS marked to your alignment. If you speak confusion, it delays. If you speak surrender, it drops. The angel is hovering. The scroll is sealed. The coordinates are set. But you must give the final command. Destiny does not just happen. It is activated. Blessings don't just fall. They are released through obedience. Miracles don't manifest in confusion. They land in clarity. And right now, clarity is calling you to make a sound of surrender, a sound of alignment, a sound that tells the heavens, I'm ready, I'm available, I'm in position. The war was heavy because the assignment is weighty, but you have endured. You have been found faithful. And now, open your mouth and unlock what's been held for you. Say it again, slowly, like you're carving it into the air. I receive my dispatch. I align with heaven's command. This moment is marked. This activation is not casual. The spirit realm is listening. Your angels are listening. Michael is listening. He does not move by your feelings. He moves by your faith. And your faith is revealed when you speak what God has spoken, even when your situation says the opposite. Declare it until it breaks. Declare it until it lands. Declare it until the atmosphere bends to match your belief. Heaven moves when your spirit agrees. Type I agree with heaven in the comments to activate your next. Blessing code 5885 is now breaking open what was locked in delay. There is a movement happening now, but not in the noise, not in the outer world, not in the places where eyes can see or ears can hear. The movement is in the silence, in the shadows of the spirit where heaven conducts its most holy exchanges. While the world demands a show, God works in stillness. While the enemy shouts confusion, heaven whispers destiny. You may feel like nothing is happening. You may think the warfare has gone quiet. But don't be fooled by the silence. The silence is sacred. It is in this divine quiet that heaven is executing orders, sealing instructions, and negotiating your release. Yes, your release. Not just from the battle, but from the identity that kept you bound to delay. Your spirit is being disentangled from the cycles that once defined you. In silence, your name is being rewritten in the atmosphere. What was once associated with shame is now being surrounded by glory. What was once labeled as delay is now being renamed as divine timing. You may not hear it with your ears, but in the invisible realm, a transaction is taking place. Angels are trading sorrow for strategy. Heaven is exchanging your loss for legacy. There is a silent handoff occurring right now. Your pain is being repurposed. Your prayers are being repackaged, and your posture is being recorded. You didn't need to shout. You didn't need to prove anything. All you needed was to hold the line, to stay in the position, to keep your spirit aligned when everything tried to pull you out of place. What was stolen from you is being reassigned under your name. The very territory the enemy invaded is now marked for your authority. What he tried to intercept has been reissued with double the force. Because heaven never loses in warfare, it always wins through reversal. But it wins in silence, in obedience, in surrender. And right now, your obedience is speaking louder than any song, louder than any sermon, louder than any battle cry. Your stillness is thunder in the spirit realm, and the dispatch that was once stuck is now moving again. The order has been given. The war winds are shifting, and the blessing is descending like rain, slow at first, quiet, hidden, but steady, unstoppable. Only, do you sense it? The air feels different. The tension is thinning. The resistance is weakening. Because the final condition has been met. You responded. You aligned. You chose stillness over striving, trust over talking, surrender over spectacle. And now, the angel moves. Not in chaos, but with clarity. Not in fire, but with fulfillment. Heaven is not moved by your noise. It is moved by your yes. You didn't need to fight to be seen. You didn't need to scream to be heard. You needed only to obey, and now, the silent exchange is complete. What was delayed is now delivered. What was hovering is now in motion. The atmosphere has been cleared. The assignment is active. Your blessing is unstuck the moment your spirit responds. Type "I have responded" in the comments if you feel the shift in your spirit. Blessing code 3030 is now active. Heaven is exchanging delay for divine acceleration. Heaven is not silent anymore. Heaven is moving. And justice, divine justice, is now being executed. Let every force that rose against you be put on notice. Every delay is now turning into divine acceleration. What once held you back is now pushing you forward. What tried to bury you has become the soil for your growth. What was sent to break you is now the very thing God is using to reveal you. The Lord says, "I have seen the affliction. I have heard the silence. I have recorded the obedience. Now I shall respond in power." This is not just vindication. This is not just a little relief after a long storm. This is reversal. Spiritual justice is not about getting even. It's about divine exchange. What you lost in the night, you will gain in the light. What was stolen will return multiplied. What was misused will become mantle. There is a courtroom in heaven, and it has ruled in your favor. The opposition thought the warfare would wear you out, but heaven turned the trial into training. The enemy thought the delay would destroy your faith, but God used it to deepen your roots. And now, because you stayed aligned, the ruling has been issued. The dispatch must be released, the resistance must retreat, and the blessing must be delivered. Every spiritual force that interfered with your timeline is now under judgment. And what they meant for evil, God has already transformed for good. Those who mocked your silence will now witness your rise. Those who question your waiting will now see your reward. For when heaven moves, it does not apologize, it overcompensates. Heaven does not repay in portions, it repays in overflow. Watch this. You're not just going to be restored. You're going to be reversed, flipped from overlooked to overqualified, from counted out to called up. This is not a small turnaround. This is a full circle moment where everything that tried to oppose your dispatch becomes the confirmation that it's arriving on time. The scales are tipping. The oil is flowing. The gates are opening. And the reversal will be visible. You will not have to announce it. It will be undeniable. The shift in your atmosphere, the unexpected favor, the sudden release, the peace that cannot be shaken, all of it will declare, this one hath been justified by the courts of heaven. Even your enemies will have to acknowledge it. They will have to stand back and watch what they tried to block become the very thing that elevates you. This is the vengeance of the Lord, not petty, not vindictive, but righteous and restorative. The same fire that tested you is the fire that is now preparing a table for you. The same spiritual opposition that tried to drown you is now a backdrop for your deliverance. Heaven's justice doesn't just settle score. It establishes order. And the order is clear. What belongs to you must find you. What carries your name cannot stay locked in delay. The dispatch that was warred for is now being thrust into motion with holy fire. You will see it. You will hold it. You will walk in it. Because heaven has ruled. The angel has moved. And reversal has begun. Type divine justice is mine in the comments if this word confirms what's been stirring in your spirit. Blessing code 4848 is now releasing spiritual restitution and supernatural reversal into your life. Now breathe. Not because the war didn't matter, but because it's over. Not because you imagined the delay, but because it served its purpose. Not because the dispatch was late, but because it was released in perfect timing. You didn't miss it. You didn't ruin it. You didn't forfeit your portion. You have arrived at the end of a divine assignment and the beginning of a divine manifestation. Heaven dispatched Michael for you. Yes, and for you. Your name was on the scroll. Your obedience was the signal. Your silence was the sacrifice. And now, your blessing has broken through the blockade. The warfare didn't stop it. They only proved that it was real. They only exposed that you were ready. Your stillness wasn't passivity, it was alignment. And alignment unlocked the release. What was once hovering is now landing. What was once guarded is now delivered. What was once delayed is now descending into your hands. The angel has moved. The enemy has backed off. The blessing is no longer suspended. It's secured. And not only has heaven released it, but heaven has also surrounded you for what comes next. Hear the word of the Lord. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. You are not coming out of this empty. You're coming out equipped. You are not just stepping into blessing. You are walking in a mantle. You carry something now. Something holy. Something powerful. Something irreversible. This is the final seal. The dispatch is delivered. The warfare is over. Rise now. Rise with strength. Rise with clarity. Rise in full authority. Because what once felt far has now become your reality. You don't have to chase it. It has found you because heaven never misplaces a command. You are chosen. You are positioned. And you are dangerous to darkness now. Let the nations hear it. Let the spirit realm recognize it. Let every dimension respond. The time has come. The waiting is over. The vessel is ready. Say this aloud as a prophetic conclusion. Heaven has delivered what belongs to me. I walk in it. I will not retreat. I receive all that was dispatched. Now seal this word. Type "The dispatch has arrived" in the comments if you believe this word was written for your name. Blessing code 9999 is now completing the angelic assignment over your life. If this message found you in a moment of warfare, if it carried your name in the spirit, then help it carry someone else's. When you sow into this mission, through super thanks, channel membership, or PayPal link in the video description, you're not just giving, you're igniting. You're becoming part of heaven's movement through media. You're funding dispatches that travel into unseen places. This is how justice multiplies. This is how deliverance goes viral. Your gift speaks. Your obedience opens doors. And heaven takes notice when you bless what carries His word. Step into divine agreement. Bless the altar that blessed you. So now, and watch heaven move. Would you like me to generate a YouTube title, description, and hashtags for this script next?